set this state back.
The voters are speaking.
Governor Gavin Newsom at odds with supporters of Proposition 36, which would lead to tougher penalties for thefts. What one recent poll shows. Plus, wait till you see how far one Southern California business has gone to prevent thefts in a video that's gone viral.
Police across the valley crack down on yet more bogus school shooting threats. Their urgent message to parents tonight.
And it wasn't one, but two separate rounds of thunderstorms rolled through the Central Valley today, bringing thunderstorms early this morning and this evening as well. And we're still tracking a few out there. We'll see where they are going and how long they'll be sticking around coming up. Fox 26 News at 10 starts right now.
You're watching Fox 26, and now Fox 26 News at 10 o'clock.
It's Thursday. Good evening. I'm Monty Torres.
And I'm Liz Gonzalez. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Many of us had a very early wake-up call this morning when thunderstorms rumbled through the valley near sunrise. A second round of storms finished off the day near dinner time.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Kuiper is tracking all that wet weather and joins us now to show us where the storms are now. Chris?
Yeah, it hasn't been for everybody. There's certainly been kind of hit or miss. So places in Tulare County haven't seen a whole lot of activity so far today. But in Fresno County and Madera County, we certainly have had some activity and still noticing a little line of showers extending from the Sierra Nevada right here along the Tulare Fresno County line, headed towards Selma and a few other places as well. So let's zoom in on these last little bits of showers and thunderstorms rolling off the mountains, coming down here into the valley. And again, still holding together a little bit. It looks like around Selma, maybe towards Sanger is again, a little few rain showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder still as well. This shouldn't last too much longer, maybe another hour or so, but still at the moment, still tracking a few showers out there. Earlier on today, we had some pretty healthy thunderstorms rolling on through the valley in a similar location as well. Let's show you some video from earlier on. Count it the seconds there. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000.
This is not okay.
10 1,000. So 10 seconds between the flash of the lightning and the thunder. So that means it's 2 miles away. You count it, divide it by 5. Every 5 seconds is 1 mile of distance between your flash of light and the rumble of thunder there. So that lightning strike was 2 miles away from those folks there. Looking at our forecast for tomorrow, no thunderstorms. It looks like a much quieter day coming up for us. We'll start it off with maybe a few clouds out there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Noontime, sunshine at 75, 5 o'clock, 85. Looks like a beautiful finish. I'll come back in a little bit. We'll talk more about the second round of storms which came through this evening and look ahead towards what place could see a few thunderstorms tomorrow.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. You mentioned Selma, raisin capital of the world. Valley farmers were keeping an especially close eye on today's storms, and you don't have to drive too far to see raisins are out drying on trays on vineyards across Fresno County. Grapes were the top crop in Fresno County last year. This is a lot of money. We're talking $1.3 billion. The CEO of the Fresno County Farm Bureau, Ryan Jacobson, tells me that it could be weeks before we know the full impact of today's storm.
Now, if we're looking at under 1/10 of an inch of rain, there should be few, if any, issues with the raisin crop. But Jacobson says the bigger concern is for stone fruits such as peaches and plums, which are at the tail end of their season. And he says table grapes can be sensitive and can rot if they stay wet. He says the warm weather that immediately followed this morning's rain helped dry things out. It also helps that next week's forecast shows we'll be in the 90s.
Well, results from a statewide poll shows that voters appear locked in support for Proposition 36. That is the measure that aims to toughen penalties on theft and drug crimes. It's considered a reform of Proposition 47, which voters approved in 2014, that reduced many nonviolent crimes from felonies to misdemeanors.
Now, Governor Gavin Newsom responded in frustration to those survey results, saying, quote, "It's not what it seems to be." Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco has reaction from both sides of the aisle. Plus, she shows us a viral video of how far one store is going to prevent thefts. Myra, the poll shows people are tired of those crimes that appear to go unpunished.
Yeah, we've reported on it time and time again. Businesses are taking matters into their own hands, like installing metal bars, among other things, just to deter theft. And now businesses are taking a new approach. Take a look.
That's crazy.
Hazel Arredondo posted this video on TikTok showing merchandise from a Rite Aid store locked up in Compton, which blew up. The video is now close to 140,000 views as the sight is shocking. Gatorades, juice products, trash bags, and even water cases secured. Pretty much everything. This retail store now taking action against retail theft by locking it up in an effort to deter thieves, which have been an ongoing problem statewide.
That's the only way these stores can maintain their profitability. That's the only way they can keep everything in the store so it can be purchased by law-abiding customers. If they don't lock it up, it's going to get stolen. They're losing money. They can't afford to stay open. And as we've seen across the state over the last few years, a lot of these stores like Walgreens and Rite Aid, they've pulled out of these areas and they've shut down because it's a loss of money because you cannot stop retail theft.
But now, a measure on the November ballot, Proposition 36, is looking to fix that problem so businesses like Rite Aid won't have to go out of their way to do things like this. Prop 36 seeks to bring harsher consequences to repeat thieves by increasing penalties for theft and drug crimes. So far, reports show that voters are backing it up by 71% in a statewide survey. Governor Gavin Newsom criticizing those results in a news conference Thursday.
And the fact that I saw a poll today and so 70% of people want to support it, I was wondering what state I was living in. And I know people are frustrated. I know people are angry. I am too, but this is not the way of solving it.
He called Prop 36 a setback.
And I think it's important. I hope you all realize this whole thing was under false pretense, was around retail theft.
Supporters of the bill say
It shows me that he's not listening to the people of California. The new Public Policy Institute of California, the poll came out, 71% of voters they polled support this. And then you hear Newsom say, I'm not sure what state I'm living in. Well, pay attention to the people of the state of California and quit focusing so much on Sacramento and listen to us and let's fix our problems. I want the governor to understand is, look, we're tired of it. Something's got to change.
What you saw in the video is nothing new, Leswanti. We've been seeing this happen across the Central Valley at several stores, just not to the level of that extent of almost everything being locked up, such as like Doritos and toothpaste and things like that.
All right, thank you, Mara. It is a persistent problem for sure. Arredondo, who recorded the video, says there were only 2 workers while they shopped. So imagine having to wait to unlock every single item in every single section of the store. Now, that Public Policy Institute of California poll showed bipartisan support for Prop 36, with 85% of Republicans supporting the proposition.
In this case, 63% of Democrats said that they are in favor of it as well. Most of that support coming from the Inland Empire, Orange County. And Orange County Sheriff's Office says that it will use the initial phase of the new ordinance to educate people on how it is now against the law to occupy public property.
If their behavior continues to be a problem, sheriff's officials say necessary law enforcement actions will be taken against them. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office says it is still working to understand how to best meet the requirements of the new ordinance. And a man is dead after he was hit by a car in Fresno this morning. It happened just before 11 at the transition to northbound Highway 41 from eastbound Highway 180. CHP says the person was jumping over the north and southbound divider.
He was hit by a car that was driving around the curve of that transition. The CHP is asking drivers to report anyone they see on or near the highway to make sure something like this doesn't happen again.
CHP is warning drivers that driving recklessly on rainy days is never a good idea. This after a car rolled over when attempting to pass another car in Fresno.
This one happened at Central and Elm Avenues. Luckily, no one was hurt. Officers believe that this was reckless driving and the rain-soaked roads that caused that incident.
An illegal casino in Fresno has been busted, and wait till you hear what was found inside. Fresno police say they received several reports that an illegal casino was operating out of a home on Olive Avenue near Millbrook Avenue.
A detective served a warrant on Wednesday, and inside they say they found 3 guns, 7 slot machines, and 5 pounds of meth. 48-year-old Pampon was taken into custody and faces several charges. 28-year-old Kevin Peck was also taken into custody on a parole hold. That investigation continues.
2 people are now facing several charges after a human trafficking operation was busted in Tulare County. The Tulare County District Attorney's Office says they were alerted through a tip in May. They say a man found a Facebook Marketplace ad for a local massage business in Tipton.
We're told that the man called for an appointment and quickly learned the business was not legitimate. It was then reported to the tip line. An investigation with both state and federal authorities revealed that that business was actually a prostitution operation.
27-year-old Enrique Castro Reyes and his sister, 30-year-old Erica Castro Reyes, were arrested on August 19th. Both are now facing several charges. Their hearing set for September 30th.
Well, we continue following multiple school threats that have been made all across the Central Valley by now.
But first, the leader of Hezbollah vows revenge over deadly attacks involving walkie-talkies and pagers. What he is now saying will happen to displaced Israelis along the border with Lebanon. Next.
The Chuck Chansey Skycam, sponsored by Chuck Chansey Gold Resort and Casino.
And as we had to break, a live look there in the distance in downtown Fresno on this somewhat hazy night. Do we want to call it that? Not too cloudy? We'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 26. Fox 26 News at 10 o'clock will continue in a moment.
The leader of Hezbollah now says the militant group will get revenge for Israel's alleged attacks on its members' walkie-talkies.
هذا حساب سيأتي.
The reckoning will come. Its nature, scope, when and where. That's something we will definitely keep to ourselves within the tightest circle, even within ourselves, because we are in the most precise, sensitive, and deeply significant part of the battle.
Hezbollah is vowing to keep up daily strikes on Israel and says any Israelis displaced near the Lebanon border will not be able to return until the war in Gaza ends.
Israel has neither confirmed nor denied that it was behind the mass bombing of communication devices in Lebanon and Syria. At least 37 people were killed and thousands were hurt. Israel says that it is shifting its priorities to the north.
As time goes by, Hezbollah will pay an increasing price. In the new phase of the war, there are significant opportunities, but also significant risks. Hezbollah feels that it's being persecuted, and the sequence of military actions will continue.
Both sides are calling this new phase of the war, raising concerns the conflict will spread further in the Middle East.
Now, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will be meeting with the president of Ukraine next Thursday. President Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to meet with each leader separately at the White House.
They will discuss U.S. support for Ukraine in its defense against Russian aggression and Ukraine's strategic planning.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president and vice president will emphasize their commitment to stand with Ukraine until it prevails in its war with Russia.
Zelensky has been pressing for the U.S. to allow Ukraine to use Western-supplied weapons to strike deeper into Russia. U.S. officials want Ukraine to more clearly detail its combat objectives and how it would use the weapons.
The FBI is releasing details of an Iranian effort over the summer to leak stolen Trump campaign information to his political rival.
National correspondent Atra El-Nashar reports from Washington.
The FBI and other top intelligence and cyber officials detailing what they say is an attempt by Iran to sow discord and influence the outcome of the presidential election. They say in late June, early July, Iranian malicious cyber actors who had obtained stolen material from the Trump campaign sent parts of it in unsolicited emails to people associated with the then Biden campaign. Since then, officials say they've also tried sending it to American media organizations. The former president reacting to the news Wednesday night.
Iran hacked into my campaign. I don't know what the hell they found. I'd like to find out. Couldn't have been too exciting. But they gave it to the Biden campaign. I can't believe it. Oh, yes, I can.
The officials say there is currently no information indicating those recipients replied. A spokesperson for the Harris campaign says a few individuals were targeted on their personal emails with what looked like a spam or phishing attempt. We condemn in the strongest terms any effort by foreign actors to interfere in U.S. elections, including this unwelcome and unacceptable malicious activity. Unfortunately, officials have been anticipating this kind of meddling. The intelligence community says Iran believes the 2024 election is particularly consequential to its own national security interests.
Foreign targeting of our political parties remains a serious concern.
Russia and China included. Officials say they view elections as vulnerable times for the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Mark Warner says their efforts will ramp up the closer we get to Election Day. Disinformation and deepfakes online are some of their biggest tools.
We need the public to be more concerned.
As much division as there is in our politics, Warner and other officials say one thing Americans should agree on is foreign actors should have no role in the outcome of U.S. elections. In Washington, I'm Atrel Nishar reporting.
The governor of Ohio says he has not reached out to former President Trump about his recent comments that have sparked several threats of political violence in this town of Springfield. Governor Mike DeWine, who is a Republican, says that his job is to keep telling the truth about the community and focus on protecting the legal immigrants who live there.
Now, he admits Trump has made incorrect statements. He was pressed at a news conference on why he hasn't tried to get Trump to stop.
I don't know how I can push back any more forcefully. I'm talking to all of you. I'm talking to news media from across the country. The idea that us asking him to stop doing that would do any good is, I think, ridiculous.
Well, the former president and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, have doubled down on rumors that Haitian immigrants in Springfield are eating pets, rumors which city officials have denied.
The White House, meanwhile, says it's sending security support to Springfield, Ohio, in the wake of those comments from former President Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says that the Biden administration is providing assistance to help keep the community safe.
We tasked DOJ's Community Relations Service to Springfield to help the community come together and enhance their ability to prevent conflict, provided 4 bomb-sniffing dogs to help the community ensure buildings are safe and they can respond to incoming threats.
Jean-Pierre says the Department of Homeland Security is pitching in. As we reported, Springfield has received multiple bomb threats since Trump and Vance made the comments, blaming Haitian immigrants from foreign sources mainly. Ohio has sent in additional state troopers and installed surveillance cameras around the city. He already missed one hearing over the Afghanistan withdrawal. Why Secretary of State Blinken might miss a second hearing and the fallout he could face.
The Allergy Report is sponsored by Premium Allergy and Respiratory Center.
I'm sure the bit of rain we had today has knocked down the allergy at least a little bit. And speaking of rain, we are still tracking a few showers across parts of the valley. Here we are in parts of southern Fresno County and northern Tulare County, noticing a little line of showers continuing to track out of the mountains on towards Dinuba and towards Selma and Sanger in that area here, probably for about the next hour or so. And then this activity should quiet on down here. What's that doing to our allergy report for the day tomorrow? Well, pollen count looks to be in the moderate side. That's not too bad. Mold should be low for us for our Friday. And as far as the air quality goes for tomorrow, looking not too bad. Merced County in the good range, everybody else in the moderate range, which for summertime, which we are still in summertime, that's not bad at all.
Well, a man is now in jail after Fresno police say he was caught on camera beating a homeless man last month.
Police say on August 26th, he was caught kicking and stomping on the 47-year-old homeless man in Fresno's Tower District. Police say that victim was asleep and woke up to the attack.
That victim was taken to CRMC for treatment. An investigation led detectives to 25-year-old Roberto Oliveira. He's been arrested and booked into Fresno County Jail. The House Foreign Affairs Committee will move ahead with holding Secretary of State Antony Blinken in contempt if he does not appear next Tuesday for a hearing over the chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal.
It was supposed to be held today, but was moved because Blinken is in the Middle East. The State Department says it's glad the hearing was rescheduled, but says the chairman once again picked a day that will not work.
So they moved the hearing to Tuesday when we have told them that he is going to be in New York carrying out these important meetings, and they schedule it anyway and threaten him in contempt rather than hold it on another date. There's nothing magic about next Tuesday. They could hold the hearing on another date. We've said we'd make the secretary available on another date. So when they are not willing to take yes for an answer, I think it does call into question whether they are acting in good faith.
Secretary Blinken is set to attend the United Nations General Assembly High-Level Week. He'll be delivering remarks and meeting with world leaders to address the war in Ukraine and the global rise of illicit drugs.
Blinken has testified before Congress on Afghanistan 14 times, including 4 times before the Foreign Affairs Committee.
Hunter Biden will be sentenced December 4th for his gun-related case. The president's son was found guilty back in June for lying about his drug use on a form when purchasing a gun. Now he's convicted on 3 felony charges.
The original sentencing date was scheduled for November 13th, but his lawyer asked the judge for a delay. Biden pleaded guilty to 9 tax-related charges in a separate case. That sentencing scheduled for December 16th.
I'm Christine Frizzell on Capitol Hill, where the threat of a government shutdown looms large once again. Why this time may be different.
The South Valley Skycam, sponsored by BD&J Injury Lawyers.
And as we head to break, a live look at one familiar sight there, downtown Visalia, the historic Fox Theater, from our South Valley Skycam. We'll be back.
All right, time to look at our bus stop forecast for tomorrow, which looks drier and sunnier than it did out there today. Tomorrow, we might start off the morning with partly cloudy skies and a little cool out there still for summer. Last time the kids are going to be going to school in the summertime. 62 degrees and cool out there. And then by the time the bus comes back around to drop them off, a little better here this time around. Sunshine and pretty warm temperatures compared to at least today. 83 should be the temperature at that time. I'm sure Justin and Christina will be talking about the thunderstorms that we had out there today and tracking possibly still a few more in some parts of our area, not around Fresno, but maybe a little bit south in Tulare County. You have to check in on a great day tomorrow morning between 5 and 10 and track the latest thunderstorms with them at that time.
Students from at least one private school in the Atlanta metro area walked out of class and marched to the state capitol today. Students from the Morgan Oliver School were protesting gun laws following the shooting at Appalachia High School September 4th. School administrators actually supported the walkout, which was planned so students could meet with senators on safe gun storage laws.
I'm glad to welcome you. I am glad that your voice today and your being in the Capitol sends a message to the legislators, the Senate and the House representatives, that we do not want any more guns to kill our children, our families, our teachers, and we don't want them in our community.
The Speaker of Georgia's House of Representatives announced legislative priorities just over a week after the shooting at Appalachia High School. These include reintroducing a bill that incentivizes safe storage of guns and encourages people to get trained on gun safety.
It's time now for tonight's Valley Crime Stoppers Daily Most Wanted. Tonight, law enforcement is asking for your help to find Carlos Lopez Molinar, who's wanted for false imprisonment with violence. If you've seen him, call Crime Stoppers 559-498-STOP. You never have to give your name, but that information could earn you a cash reward.
The deadline for members of Congress to pass a spending bill to fund the government is inching closer. National correspondent Christine Frizzell updates us on their progress.
Back to the ticking clock and yet another looming threat of a government shutdown.
It's all bull.
Congressman Thomas Massey, one of 14 Republicans who voted no, some citing overspending or not enough spending on the military, joining nearly all Democrats, killing the latest spending bill.
The bill is not passed.
Democrats are opposed to an add-on to the bill called the SAVE Act, which stands for Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, which most conservative Republicans, as well as their presidential nominee, demand be included.
Right now, we have no mechanism for the states to require proof of citizenship before they register to vote.
While voting by non-citizens is already against the law in federal elections, Donald Trump claims Democrats are registering illegal voters by the tens of thousands, though there's no evidence of this at all. Others argue citizens have to have an ID to open a bank account, rent a car, and even adopt a pet, and should therefore need one to pick a president.
The SAVE Act is going to require proof before you register to vote. You are to show proof of citizenship. I'm willing to even shut the government down to make sure that the laws are obeyed in this country.
Democrats in the Senate say it's a non-starter, worried the SAVE Act would prevent those who have never had driver's licenses, like many low-income Americans, or elder Americans with no government ID, from voting. Nearly 21 million voting-age U.S. citizens are said to not have a current driver's license.
The Speaker must choose. Either keep paying blind obeisance to Donald Trump and his ridiculous claims, or work with both parties to spare the American people from a Republican shutdown.
Democrats say the only way to avoid a shutdown is to work with them. Now, there is a chance a short-term spending bill will get passed, but that means we could be having this conversation again 3 months from now, just before the holidays. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzau.
Well, it's a device that's meant to prevent pregnancy, but in some women, Paragard led to major medical complications and several surgeries. We'll tell you about the change the FDA is finally making to its label next.
Spotlight on America is sponsored by Tachi Palace Casino Resort.
For the first time since Spotlight on America started investigating reports of breakage and complications from a popular birth control device, the FDA is revealing it conducted a safety review of IUD breakage. That began after our first report in 2021. Investigative correspondent Angie Moreski has this update and a look at the lack of transparency that's made it so difficult to get this information on behalf of the public.
These pictures are the actual device broken in my uterus.
Over the past 3 years, more than a dozen women have contacted Spotlight on America, telling us about their experiences with Paragard copper IUDs breaking inside them during removal.
I was very scared.
Sharing the anxiety it caused.
It's like a ticking time bomb. Is it going to perforate something?
And concern over possible complications and additional surgeries required to remove it.
I don't want to take any risks with my life, unnecessary risks.
Since we started investigating, the number of Paragard breakage complaints to the FDA's adverse event reporting system more than doubled. The majority of those deemed serious and requiring hospitalization. And a 2022 analysis also found Paragard had nearly double the reports of breakage compared to other IUDs. Women's health advocates told Spotlight the FDA should do more to address the issue.
We definitely need more information, more research.
It's a warning sign that deserves to be investigated.
And despite 3 years of questions and public records requests Spotlight submitted to the FDA, the agency repeatedly told us Paragard is considered safe and effective, never disclosing its safety review until now. Finally, in an email this month, the agency revealed it completed a safety review on the issue of IUD breakage initiated 3 years ago in 2021. It led to regulatory action, with the FDA approving a change to Paragard's warning label on what to do if removal cannot be accomplished by gentle pulling, to assess for embedment and perforation with imaging like x-rays if needed.
Have you had it happen when you've removed one of the Paragard IUDs?
Certainly have.
OBGYN Dr. Mitchell Crennan says while Paragard breakage is still considered rare, he has many cases referred to him as a complex family planning specialist. He says doctors need to do a better job of warning women about the risk.
I think it starts with clinicians just talking about it. It's important for them to know.
The FDA told Spotlight this label change is intended to guide the counseling of women on the use of Paragard. But Dr. Crennan says he has yet to receive notification about the warning label update from Paragard's maker. We asked the FDA how long Paragard has to notify doctors about the change. A spokesperson told us the company is not required to notify clinicians. And once again, Spotlight on America is running into a bureaucratic wall, trying to get more information from the FDA. The agency tells us its safety review report is not public information, so we filed yet another official public records request. And now we wait again for an answer. We'll share more information when we get it. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.
Paragard's maker, Cooper Surgical, has not responded to our repeated requests for comment. The company is facing lawsuits from thousands of women over breakage and serious complications.
Well, it's time to shine a light on this month's Superintendent Superstar. Nellie Smith is a senior at Fowler High School. She has a 4.1 GPA and is known for always challenging herself and her community commitment. This year, she's pushed herself by joining the City of Fowler's Junior Ambassador Program to help organize community events, and it doesn't stop there. She's been part of Fowler High's soccer team, and when she's not on the field, she's out volunteering to support the school's other sports programs.
I love seeing people just have a smile on their face. Like I used to hate not feeling included. I used to hate not being able to do certain things. It's the small things, it's the little things that matter.
We're told that it's her character and heart that brings meaning to the Red Cat Way. She plans on going to Fresno State after graduating to get her degree in social work so she can continue helping others. From everyone here at Fox 26, congratulations, Nellie. Her parents must be so proud.
Most definitely. All right, we're going to take a look at still a few showers across parts of the valley. We're not done with the rain yet. Right around Selma, a little bit north of Selma, a little shower hanging tough there. We'll talk about that, and we'll see what happened earlier in the day. And we'll talk about the possibility of maybe a few more showers tomorrow when we come back. Stay with us.
For a second time in weeks, the Central Coast is looking at red tide event, leading animals to come on shore disoriented, some even appearing to experience seizures.
Yeah, smaller fish eat the affected algae and the bigger animals eat those, leading to the poisoning. The state parks rangers are saying that if you see an animal like a sea lion come on shore, make sure you give it plenty of space and report it so that rangers can assess whether the animal needs additional help. We're going to expand on this story coming up tomorrow night at 10.
And firefighters in Tulare County are getting a big thank you from local students. Crews were given these colorful lunch bags for their hard work battling the coffee pot fire.
That fire is now 93% contained. It scorched more than 14,000 acres since it began August 3rd.
Yeah, South Fork Drive within Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks remains closed. Recreational access to the Mineral King area of Sequoia National Park also remains closed.
93%. Good to hear that. Good news, and that'll help out when it comes to our air quality as well.
Absolutely, 100%. And we may have had some rain on the coffee pot fire as well, which I'm sure would help with the firefighters also. So all good news all the way around. We're going to talk about the rain that we had today, summer rain, and see if there's a little more possibly coming our way tomorrow in just a moment. But first, here's a message for one of our sponsors.
At Fresno Subaru, we believe in making a positive impact in our community through the Subaru Love Promise. This year, we're continuing our support of the Down Syndrome Association of Central California. Fresno Subaru, join us in helping make a difference in our community.
Well, it's been a busy day with weather. We started the morning off with thunderstorms right around sunrise, and then we had a second round come through earlier on this evening. And the last little bit of thunderstorm activity, or rain shower at least activity, looks like it's right over Selma, or maybe the north side of Selma there. And well, another little cell trying to sneak off the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. Just a little bullseye train coming right here towards from the Sierra Nevada, right towards Selma. And so we're still seeing a few showers. Not very much. They don't last very long because look at them, they're pretty small. But still a few showers hanging tough out of what we had earlier on this evening. And this is what we had earlier on this is what we had this morning. This is round one here where the big line of thunderstorms came through right there about 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning and certainly woke a lot of people up as well. In fact, we have more video from earlier on this morning. This one's from Dan Barcelos and showing us, there's the flash of light. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 anyway, you count 5 1000. You count 5 every 5 seconds is 1 mile distance from your lightning strike to your thunderbolt, or for the thunder to the lightning strike. And then you saw a few rain shafts here earlier on this afternoon. This is about 5 or 6 o'clock here from our tower cam, just looking off towards the west. And you see the little shafts of rain off in the distance. It's been a wet day for sure, all caused by low pressure off the coastline. Here it is off the coastline earlier on today, and through the course of the day today, it just tracked southward, just kind of parallel the coastline basically. And boy, look at the strong thunderstorms it fired off in Santa Barbara County, and there was reports of flooding down there near Highway 166, near Cuyama and Maricopa, and those areas had reports of at least 20 cars stuck in the mud from some of these thunderstorms down in that region. And then later on in the day, the thunderstorms still continue to move there, and we saw still some activity in the valley as well. Now, let's take a look at what's going to be happening tomorrow. The area of low pressure continues to work its way off towards the east. Here we are, 6 o'clock in the morning. Little shower looks like right over Delano or so, potentially in northern Kern County. Then we get a little later, 8 o'clock in the morning, still a few showers here or there. Not much, but still a few showers across parts of Tulare County. Then we go into the afternoon. Quiet? No, not quite yet. Still a few showers, maybe towards Porterville, maybe up towards Springfield or so. So southern Tulare County, you still have a shot of a few showers tomorrow. So that's in the forecast for tomorrow. In places like Grant Grove and Three Rivers, still a chance of an afternoon shower, maybe a thunderstorm. I think everybody else will be dry. But again, Grant Grove, Three Rivers, and down towards Porterville possibly as well. Springville, those areas could be talking a few showers. We'll at least have some clouds in Porterville and a few other clouds maybe in Tulare and Visalia. The rest of us should enjoy sunshine and temperatures warming back up into the middle 80s. Partly cloudy skies for us overnight tonight, 60-hour low temperatures, still a shower or two out there tomorrow. Most of us seeing sunshine and warmer weather. Again, watch out for that little shower possibility towards parts of southern Tulare County. And then finally, your 10-day forecast. What cool weather. As we get back to the weekend, it's in the 90s, and next week we see temperatures return to almost 100 by Tuesday.
Oh boy, a Merced woman went shopping for Mother's Day and wound up a millionaire. Annette Lopez says that she bought a California lottery scratcher during a special trip to Save Mart. She says it was special because it was not only her sister's birthday, but also Mother's Day weekend.
Well, she ended up striking it rich. Her $10 investment in a Power 10 scratcher paid off with a $1 million win. She says people had been discouraging her from buying scratchers. Now she showed them it was worth it, I'll say.
Got to play to win.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, Ralph Wood is going to recap a record-setting day for Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani.
And McLean and Sunnyside battle to become the Valley's first 4-0 high school football team. That is next in sports.
Friday Night Rivals is off for the next couple of weeks, returning October 4th, but we do have high school football highlights for you tonight. That includes a matchup of unbeaten teams in the Valley as McLean hosted Sunnyside, both off to 3-0 starts. Wildcats got on the board first on the run by Romulan Fetiche. Sunnyside's attempt at a two-point conversion then would fail when McLean's Jaron Scott drifted back and intercepted Tanner Wilson's pass in the end zone. The Highlanders got something going on offense here when quarterback Nick Ibarra found Julian Scott for a big gain in the passing game inside the 35-yard line. Demarie Banks would finish that drive with a touchdown run, and in a good one, Sunnyside got by McLean 13-6. So the Wildcats are off to a perfect 4-0 start. Also tonight, Justin Garza improved to 3-2 with a 47-7 win over Lompoc, and the Hoover Patriots get their first win, 35-20 over Madera South. Now to an unbelievable day in baseball for Shohei Ohtani, bidding to become the first man in history to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a season. Ohtani did it all for the Dodgers in their series finale in Miami. He had 49 stolen bases coming in, and he would get to 50 right here when he stole third and ended up getting the extra base to take home as a souvenir of his 50 steals. That was his first of 2 today. Then he took aim on the long ball, already had 3 hits in this game when he launched this rocket. Home run number 49 on the season, a bomb to the upper deck, but he was not finished.
On a 1-2, Ohtani sends one in the air, the other way, back it goes, gone! One-of-a-kind player, one-of-a-kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
The first and only player in the history of Major League Baseball to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a single season. That one also set a Dodgers franchise record for most home runs. But again, he was not finished. Before he could even process what was happening, Ohtani did it again.
Certainly smiling. We all are watching this guy. Oh my gosh! Shohei Ohtani! The greatest day in baseball history!
It was showtime for Shohei today. Now with 51 home runs, 51 stolen bases, Ohtani finished this game with 6 hits, including 3 home runs, 4 runs scored, 10 RBIs, and the Dodgers' 20-4 win. While this was a great day for Ohtani, also a great day for the Cleveland Guardians and their first-year manager, Visalia native Stephen Vogt. The 39-year-old rookie skipper was right in the middle of that crazy clubhouse celebration. Vogt led the team to a playoff spot after the team's 42nd come-from-behind win this season. While the Guardians, Dodgers, and Brewers clinched playoff spots today, the Giants were eliminated. They have now missed the playoffs in 7 of the last 8 years. That is sports. Thank you for joining us. Our next newscast is Great Day, beginning at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.